I'm Barbara Warren, the director of Salem Sound Coastwatch, and I was asked by Town Green to come to Manchester today. I've worked in Manchester on their coastal resilience climate change initiatives going back 2011 and then 2017 and 2018. And they have Masconoma Park, which we're visiting today, to just brainstorm and observe what the park is now and what it experiences with coastal floods, astronomical tides, and then talk about what the future and what Manchester should begin thinking about. Not that you have to do everything right now, but you need to start planning. And so we're here to look at where it is flooded, what's wet now. We're noticing how wet the field is. It had rained a couple days ago, asking people, is this normal? Is it usually pretty soggy? And the answer, most of the time, but we still play Little League here. We're gonna look at the salt. We went over to the edge of the marsh. People have asked what kind of grasses could come in here. When it starts getting inundated on a fairly regular basis, it will be salt marsh plants, which already line the edge of Masconoma Park. And they're gonna come in whether people do anything now or not. It is fairly flat because it was filled tidelands. So it will eventually return to that because you've got more height. We walked over along the shore where the commercial boats come in, and there's a marina, and we're noticing on the seawall this round area that is been bricked up. And that tells us that there used to be a culvert there, stream, wetland flowing out, right next to Masconoma Park, and it has been covered up. So we noticed a lot of buildings, homes, roads that were filled. So they were in the tidal zone, and they still are. And now they've been filled, and people have been living there happily for quite a long time. But eventually, with sea level rise and the climate predictions, they are at risk of being flooded. What kind of pathways do you want? How often do you want it to be wet? What kind of tides are going to be coming in here? Do we want raised paths? I think at this point, people can say, well, we have a plan, but we don't have to instigate it right away. And then we went to Singing Beach. It's a beautiful beach, and everyone loves it and wants it here forever. But we are looking at where the sand is now, and you can see there's lots of sand, but it wants to be in the parking lot. It wants to be in the road, in the turnaround. So where the beach is, as the tides get up higher, you're going to experience more sand erosion. We always have sand erosion in the winter, but you're going to experience more sand erosion because the waves are coming up far enough that they're hitting the revetment, the rock, and then pulling all that energy back and removing the sand. Singing Beach eventually will become what you see at a very low tide. So you see a mud flat, you can walk on the wet, hard sand, and that's what it will be as sea levels rise. Unless the town figures out how to move the bathhouse back, change the parking lot. There is room where the parking lot is to have a beach. And then there's a lot of private property. So there's a whole discussion. Nothing's gonna happen overnight, but it's a good time to begin having these conversations. The town of Manchester is working with Fuss & O'Neill, some consultants. They are holding a visioning session at the beginning of May. So that's a way for the community to get involved and tell the people who make decisions what they would like.